If you do struggle to sometimes disconnect from your phone and put it down, just raise your hand right now for me so I can see. Just be honest with yourself. Yes, you in the brown coat. Could you come and join me up on stage, please? Round of applause, everyone. Hello, what's your name?
Linnea.
Linnea, so nice to meet you. And where are you from, Linnea?
I'm originally from Romania, lived in New Zealand and moved to Sydney about a year ago.
Oh, amazing, amazing, awesome. Well, Linnea, yeah, please, go ahead. Yeah. Takes a lot.
It's bright. Like, how do you see anything? But yeah, hi guys.
You're doing great, Linnea, you're doing great. Well, I have a question to ask you. How does it feel that out of 2,000 people, you're one of those people that struggles to disconnect from your phone? How does that feel?
Well, I was actually telling the lady next to me that I felt embarrassed. Like it's like awkward and icky.
Yeah. I think that's really open. I think a lot of us feel that way, and this isn't about shaming you or anyone for that matter. If they weren't as nice as you, maybe I would shame them, but it's not about shaming anyone. It's really interesting that we do feel shameful about it, but we all do it. Why do you think it is for you that you struggle to disconnect from your phone, for you personally?
I think it's because I know that if I did, it would do me a lot of good. And yeah, like it's so interesting that something that you know is good for you, it becomes so hard to do it. And you're like, why? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, it's crazy that my brain won't let me do something that would benefit me.
I think you're speaking to a lot of people tonight, Linnea. And, you know, it's really interesting to me because I think that's so true. I think all of us know who we want to be, where we want to go, but we get reeled in by the news, the notifications, the negativity, the noise. It just seems to take control over us, doesn't it?
And I also, it's funny because I actually listened to your podcast, and although I'm sitting listening to your podcast and thinking I'm doing something positive for myself, that's also not putting my phone down. So it's like...
That's okay, though. That's okay. I mean,
so we're
like, you know, I think we can
like
work
a balance.
with that.
Yeah, there's a balance, right?
If you're listening to me, I think you can carry your phone around all day,
okay,
to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, that's all. I just needed
now
that
we've
validation.
we've clarified that now. That's good, just in case. Keep subscribed to On Purpose. Yeah, got it. All right. Linnea, I want to ask you a question. What's one of your favorite places that you've visited in the world?
Queenstown, New Zealand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got a bit of love in the house. Well, I'd love to tell you, Linnea, if it's okay, and I'd love to share with all of you about one of my favorite places that I've visited.
Absolutely, yes, please.
Yeah, would you like to know? One of my favorite places in the world is this place, and it's called Rishikesh. It's in India. It sits at the foothills of the Himalayas, and what you see here is the river Ganga, or the river Ganges, that's flowing through. It's a very sacred place, a very sacred river, and I've spent lots of days on the bankside, walking with friends, meditating, reflecting, but the reason I'm sharing it with you, Linnea, today, and with all of you, is because of these caves. Now, these caves are ancient caves where sages have meditated for years and years and years. And often when I go to Rishikesh, I'll take a friend, and we'll go inside about 20 meters deep. We'll find a quiet space to sit down. It's pitch black in the stillness. And whenever we do that and we reflect, I've always found that whoever I take says that it's a really profound experience for them. And it's the first time that they really disconnect from the news, the notifications, the negativity and the noise. And so my question today, Linnea, for you is, would you like to go to Rishikesh with me?
Are you serious?
Would you like to go to Rishikesh with me?
Yes.
All right. Bye, everyone. We're off. Let's go. See you later. No.
I knew you were kidding about that. Yeah.
I mean, maybe I wasn't. But we can't tonight. We have a show to do. So I'll have to be kept to that promise. But we can't do that tonight.
Metaphorically, please take me there.
Right. Well, Linnea, are you up for trying something with me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Well, why don't you just take a seat on that? Now, Linnea, I can't take you to Rishikesh tonight, but I can bring the caves to you. So this tonight is going to be your cave. Now, every cave comes with a state-of-the-art night vision camera, just so we can check on you and make sure you're fine in there. I'm going to hand you these noise-canceling headphones in a second so you can really be in stillness and be with yourself. If you have any issues, you can just knock on here. it'll be fine. But you'll be fine. We already tested it on the people in Melbourne, and they survived. So I think you'll be totally fine. Linnea, I have to ask you, do you have your phone on you?
I do, actually.
All right. Even in the cave. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to keep it over here for you safely. It's right here. Okay, brilliant. And Linnea, I'd actually love to share with you a question that I often reflect on when I'm in these caves, and one that I often share with friends that has been really helpful to them. Would you like to know?
Yes, please.
Okay. So taking a deep breath for me. Close your eyes, breathe out. The question I'd like you to reflect on is, what is so important to you? What is so meaningful to you, but recently somehow you keep getting distracted from it and it keeps getting deprioritized? What is so valuable to you, but somehow you don't give it the energy that it deserves? You can open your eyes. That's the question I'm going to leave you with for the next few moments. I don't want your answer now, to really sit with it. And Linnea, I know we've only spent a few moments together on stage, but I can already tell that you're going to be great at this, and I think you're really going to gain something from this. You still ready to try it?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Give Linnea a round of applause, everyone. Pop those on. Let's take it away. And that was the last time we saw Linnea. Actually, who did Linnea come with? Who's Linnea come with? She come on her own. Wow, so no one even cares that she's in there. Incredible. Wow, all right, okay. Well, there we go. No one will ever know. I want to draw your attention to this hourglass over here. Linnea's going to be in there for the next hour. And I'm just messing around. Can you imagine? Come to my show, sit in a box for an hour. Like, I hope you had a great time. No, she's going to be in there for the next few moments. And actually, I want to get the feed up so we can see her in there. There we go. Oh, she's doing it so seriously. I love it. It's perfect. It's really wonderful to see someone focusing so quickly, and especially someone who struggles to be away from their phone. So the reason why we're doing this is, a few years ago, they did a study where they asked people whether they wanted to be alone with their thoughts for 15 minutes or give themselves an electric shock. Now, in that study, people had the choice as to whether they wanted to be alone with their thoughts for 15 minutes or give themselves an electric shock. What I'm interested in today is what happens when I administer the electric shock with this button. When I press this, it's connected up to the seat and the mains, and she'll be shocked at a... I'm just messing around. Oh my God, I had some of you going though. I had some of you going so hard, and I knew there were even a few of you going, I knew he was too good to be true. I just knew it, right? I did not choose this moment to come out as a psychopath. But actually, I do have a question for all of you. Take a moment to experience a fraction of the darkness of this cave that Linnea is experiencing right now. And I want you to bring your awareness to the same question that I asked her. What is so important to you? What is so meaningful to you that somehow always ends up at the bottom of the priority list? What is so valuable to you, but somehow weeks, months, and years go by, and you don't give it the attention it deserves? Now, we're only in here for a few seconds. Linnea's in here for a lot longer. Let's get the lights back up. So, going back to that study with the two choices, 25% of women chose an electric shock, and 67% of men chose an electric shock. Women, there you have it. You are stronger, more resilient, more tough. You did it. There you go. The results show it. Oh. We can't even be alone with our thoughts for 15 minutes. And when they asked both men and women why they chose the electric shock, they both said because they didn't feel comfortable, that it was so uncomfortable to spend that time alone with their thoughts. Now, here's how that relates to love. Let me explain the connection. Loneliness, studies show, makes us rush into bad relationships. It keeps us in toxic relationships, and it urges us to accept less than we deserve. It's really interesting that when you run into a relationship out of either the discontentment of being alone or the desperation, you actually make worse decisions. The lens of loneliness makes us insecure and makes us move faster in love than we actually want to. And the lens of solitude makes us open and curious. And that's why solitude is the foundation on which we build love. Solitude isn't a failure to love. It's actually the first stepping stone to love. When we get comfortable with who we are, we don't need someone else to make us feel comfortable or likable or lovable. Now, solitude is interesting because we go, well, what do I do in my time alone? What am I meant to do? How do I fill that time? Now, reflecting, which is what Linnea's doing, is one part of solitude. But there's another part, and it's called recording. Reflecting and recording are the two halves of solitude. And over here, I have some journals, and I'm going to read out the titles that I have. Each of them has a different title. This one says, even the small steps I take toward big goals is progress. This one says, I strive for joy, not for perfection. Now, I'll explain how these connect to Linnea in a second, but if I took you to my childhood home, you would find stacks and stacks of journals. They're filled with quotes, with thoughts, with stories, with my favorite moments from books I'd read. And what I found about this was really interesting, is that when I didn't journal, I actually lost track of how much progress I made because it wasn't as tangible. And being able to look back and go, well, that's where I was last year. Look how far I've come. Only a journal could achieve that. And even more deeply, what I found was when I wrote in my journal, I started to become the author of my own life as opposed to a participant. So often, if we don't write down our thoughts, our ideas, we think they stay up here, but we know they disappear. And all of a sudden, we're a passenger in our own journey. Now, wait a minute. I realize we lost track of Linnea and all of that. As you can see, this is an hourglass. Linnea's been in there for quite a few minutes. I'm going to give you the choice. How many of you feel that Linnea's been in there for long enough, and even though no one misses her, we should get her out of there? Like, how many of you feel that way? Make some noise. And how many of you feel, nah, she's not been in there for that long and no one cares anyway, let's leave her in there for longer? Make some noise. You psychopaths! That is so mean. Who's the psychopaths now? Gosh, I personally think Linnea's been in there for long enough and we should get her out. Make sense? Yeah? All right, let's get her out. Let's get her out.
Oh, it's very bright.
Linnea, take in a deep breath for me. And I just want you to take a moment to stay in that headspace. I know the lights and everyone's here, but just stay in there mentally for me. Stand up. Come and join me out here. And again, just stay in that space. Mm-hmm. Linnea, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to come over here and look at these journals. Okay. Now, each of these journals has a different title. And in a moment, what I'd like you to do is go over there and pick the one that resonates most deeply with you. Okay. Now, I know there'll be one that will stand out, but I just want you to take your time and choose the one that really feels right for you. Okay? Mm-hmm. And just bring it back to me, nothing else. Just grab one and bring it back to me over here. Okay. Over to you. 2 weeks later. You're fine, you're fine. Hold that, and no, you can hold it to yourself. And I'd just like you to read out the title of the journal you chose.
Sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional. I am not defined by my past. I am driven by my future.
Linnea, thank you for being so vulnerable with us. Can you tell us why you chose this title?
I think sometimes you can feel trapped by the things that have happened in the past. And I feel like those things sometimes barriers for me. Almost like you're stuck in the person that you used to be. And you want to break free from it.
Linnea, could you share with us what you were thinking about when I asked you to reflect on that question of what's important to you, but often gets not enough energy? What came to your heart and mind?
Being full, it's kind of like the cup you talk about. It's the best I've ever felt in my entire life, having a cup that's not only full but overflowing, having so much that you can share it. And at the moment, recently, I've just felt like I can't even get that cup to be full for myself, let alone to share it with other people. And yeah, I feel like it's just almost running away from me.
Linnea, you're so brave to share this with us. Thank you so much. It's really special. Thank you so much. It's incredible. Incredible. And Linnea, obviously we can tell that you're in a really deep space with the way you're talking to us. Did you find that the time you spent in solitude was useful and insightful for you to connect with this space, and how?
100%, because I almost, in that quiet space, I almost got to look at all the areas of my life and kind of see what maybe I should do next. And so, yeah, I thought about my health and my career and my relationship, and I was like, okay, cool, at least now that I know what areas are there, I can actually maybe do something about it, I guess.
That's amazing. Linnea, that's beautiful. Linnea, do you mind if I write a short note for you in that journal?
Please.
Is that okay?
Absolutely, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, take a hold of that. Don't steal the show because you're so eloquent. So give me a moment to... How do I spell your name?
Lineea. I'm getting shy. You're all giggling at me.
2 weeks later.
Feels more like 3.
I see how it is, Linnea. I see how it is. Linnea, my intention for doing this with you today is that I think you represent all of us when you talked about how easy it is to know what's right for you, but still get pulled in the wrong direction. I think you represent all of us when we always feel like we don't have enough to give to the people we love and overflow into them. And my genuine hope and intention for you is that the next time the distractions come, you'll remember this moment. You'll read the note that I wrote you in here, and it will remind you to take out a few moments to spend in solitude so that you can reconnect with this awareness and clarity that you have right now. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
It's for you. You're incredible. That was amazing. You're unbelievable. That was amazing. After you, Linnea. Thank you. Linnea, everyone! Oh, yeah. Wow. Thank you for that. Linnea, you did so well that you forgot your phone. That's incredible.